Hey, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Evolve with Grace, with me, Stella Grace. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to share my screen with you in a minute. So we're going to get into the astrology and we can walk through the chart together, which will be quite nice because we've got eclipse energies to wrap up. As I say wrap up, I feel though like they're so in place. The energy is so evident. And I think it'd be really nice to spend this time together looking at what we're graduating from over the last couple of weeks with eclipse season, what we're celebrating. Because I don't know about you, but I have really been aware of a whole heap of evolutionary learning. So I'd be really interested to invite you to reflect on how your eclipse season has gone. And we're also going to think today about aftercare. That sounds really clinical, but what I mean by that is, what we can really dissect from this eclipse season and take forward with us into the rest of Libra season and the rest of, the calendar year 2024. So let's get into it. I'll share my screen in a little bit. We're just going to have a bit of a chat first. So I missed last week because, it's been wild. Not negative, nothing too crazy. We've had a little bit of illness in our household, in our family, but just superficial stuff, fortunately. So, but it's been wild with the ups and the downs and just the quick pace. Have any of you been finding that? It's just been definitely transformative, definitely evolutionary. My friend and I were joking on voice notes yesterday that to try, because we chat a lot and dissect our learning, and we pick things apart and we share the ups and downs and the crazies of this evolutionary path. And we were joking yesterday that actually to dissect the learning that we've had over eclipse season would take a whole day to kind of try and explain what's happened in one day. So I'd love to hear if any of you guys have had that kind of experience. Eclipses generally, so if you saw my video 2 weeks ago, you'll remember that I mentioned eclipse seasons are generally transformative. They love to shift us up to a higher timeline. They're about our highest destiny. They are linked to the nodes of the moon, which is about the south node and the north node. And so we've had the Pisces full moon 2 weeks ago, in just past mid-September, showing us what we were clearing out to access our highest destiny. And similarly, the solar eclipse now on this new moon coming up tomorrow is really like a final purge. It's like a final drain. What else needs to shift out of our reality to bring us into more alignment with our highest destiny, which is North Node stuff. But interestingly, we're still very much wading through what is old and what we are clearing, because this new moon is on the South Node. So it's really interesting times. So there's been a lot of transformation. There's been a lot of growing and growth, and it's been really, really fast paced. I wonder how you might resonate really differently. I'd love to invite you to think about what have been your themes over the last couple of weeks. So since the Pisces full moon, which I think off the top of my head now is around the 18th, September the 18th, and we had the Pisces full moon, as well as some really other interesting astrology. There was lots going on around then. There will have been, I'm going to be bold and say, I'd be really surprised if you haven't been working through something or noticing some significant kind of shifts and changes or developments in life over the last couple of weeks. So I'd really invite you now to think about what they might be for the purpose of old things needing to go. Are we clear yet on the things that need closure? If not, we've still got the energy around for us to be able to do that. What can we be letting go of? And a really good indicator of this, because it's really easy to say letting go, isn't it? But actually, in reality, what does that mean? How do we do that? It's easy to say it, but not always easy to do these things. So things that may feel really comfortable, actually, because this is linked to the nodes. This is stuff to do with the nodes. We can get really comfortable in our south node. We can get really comfortable in comfort zones. And really, I think probably the biggest energy and the biggest message of this eclipse is about shifting that, or even beginning to shift that. and shifting up or jumping timelines. I like to think of it, to our highest potential. So that might all sound a bit, wacky and out there, but actually it can be small changes. It can be small steps. Life is all about small steps, isn't it? It's like showing up each day with, perhaps something new each day. So where have you found some things coming up that you can see maybe are incredibly comfortable or are ticking along, but actually might not be serving you for your development? So that's South Node territory. North Node territory, so you'll know what things are calling you in North Node territory if they're new, scary, uncomfortable, but exciting, can feel unknown, can feel out of reach, but yet there is a little step there, or there is a little access to a new avenue there or something, but it can feel really, wow, like I never thought I'd do that, or I'm really up for it, but I don't know if I've got the skills, or I don't think I've got the confidence, those kind of things. So if you've got anything in mind, then the invitation and the energy is really supporting us to jump, take the leap, clear out the old and make some kind of steps into the new, even if it's small steps. So that's kind of what I would say is the main kind of theme for me. I've been working with some really interesting stuff around empowerment and speaking my truth more. I actually thought I was quite doing all right at those things. I wasn't doing terribly, but it's just so fascinating, isn't it? We've always got an opportunity to grow. We've always got a next level up, which is the beautiful cyclical nature of life. It's never done. There's not an end point. It's not a final destination. It's the continual destination. And I've really been aware of that, and it's been absolutely fabulous because I've really enjoyed actually stepping into my power more. I've really enjoyed looking at how I do boundaries and strengthening those. That's been an interesting theme, and that's, for me, if we look back at the Pisces full moon as a bit of a marker to reflect on our learning, to take some rich juice out of it and use it for moving forward. We look back to the Pisces full moon, that's a lot about boundaries. That's a lot about where we are in the collective, where we are in our own health, and that being a real key factor in how we show up in the world for ourselves and for others. So amazing stuff. And now moving forward, how can we be utilizing the learning, whatever your learning has been, how we can be utilizing it to move forward with? So a really other good thing to think about here would be self-care. So we've got apologies for that. I just had to pause to sort out my technical hitch, but we're all good, back in business. So thinking about what we're graduating with, thinking about the things we have released or shifted or changed or developed in some way in the last couple of weeks, and then really utilizing the learning from that, and what else we can be using really to move forwards, to continue this path of evolution, of development, personal, spiritual development. So it's been really interesting to think about the Pisces full moon as a marker. Now we've got tomorrow as the new moon in Libra and beyond. So today's video is really about wrapping up and squeezing the juice out of eclipse season. But let's do something with that. Let's not make this a time sensitive couple of days thing. Actually, the beauty of eclipses, why they've actually been feared, and I don't go down that road, I don't buy into that road, but there is astrology out there that suggests there's a lot of fear energy around eclipses because they are so transformational. What a beautiful opportunity. Let's utilize that learning for our ongoing development and lives and all areas of life. So let's not make this just about a new moon thing tomorrow. Let's think about the juice from eclipse season, how we can utilize that for beyond, however, whenever. This can be short or long term. stuff. This is destiny. This is destiny stuff. So this is us being in our full potential and that unfolding on a, you know, generally moving forwards basis. It's exciting stuff. It's really, really beautiful. It's amazing we get to have these conversations. I love batting this stuff around with you. I welcome your comments. Please share how you've been feeling, what you're thinking, how you're vibing. And we're going to get into some of tomorrow's astrology, but I also invite you, as we do so, to think about beyond as well. Think about the bigger themes of destiny, your highest destiny, and everywhere we've been before that. So when we talk about the South Node stuff and we talk about our comfort zones, it's not that we want to banish them or deny that part of ourselves. It's all, you know, it's all part of us, but it's about that cyclical nature, as I was saying. It's about that beauty of, let's just keep growing, let's keep evolving. You know, this is why I love doing what I do with the messages that I share, because we're in this journey together, moving forwards, hopefully developing as people, but also as a collective. So eclipses really can assist with that. So let's look at our overall learning from them for moving forwards, as well as the astrology for this packed week. So I'm going to now share my screen with you. If I can be very clever, I've not always been the most tech minded, or it's not always been my strongest point, but here we go. I think we're good. So if you see the chart here, we're looking at this. I'm just circling the cursor there around the new moon. You can see the sun and the moon together there, which is what we would always see in a new moon. The sun, you know, taking it, appearing, so that we can't see the moon. Of course, it's still there, but and this is the solar eclipse of the two. So it's the final eclipse, and it's also the final eclipse of 2024. And I think that also gives us another energy to consider. What are we wrapping up for this whole year? We've got, what, 3 months now left of 2024. What do we want to do with that? What do we want to take the learning from the last, you know, 3/4, 2/3, whatever it is of this year? What do we want to really implement for the closing months of 2024? It's a really good journal prompt, perhaps. So we've got this finality here, but that's to serve us for moving forwards. Now, always with new moons, they are generally a new beginning, a time of new beginning. So we could utilize this energy in thinking, okay, what else do we want to create in 2024? That's another really good reflection. What we've created so far, brilliant. How does that develop on? What else can we do, and what else would we like to create for these final few months of the calendar year? But what we've got is an additional theme of this wrapping up. So what I love about astrology, and its kind of poetic and subjective nature, is that we have contradictions. Of course, we have contradictions of people in our charts. We can see we're a mix of complexities and different colors, and that's absolutely how it should be. So of course, the universe is filled with every single color. You know, we haven't come here to just be one color, have we? We've come here to experience all of the colors. So one of the little contradictions, if you like, of this energy is we've got the beauty of the new beginnings of the new moon in Libra moving forward for this new lunar month ahead, but we've got this final kind of purge energy of the eclipse and everything like that's wanting to literally drain out of our lives to help us shift up a gear to our highest potential that eclipses love to do. So think of this as really twofold, this energy that we can really utilize. I talk about this stuff because it doesn't limit us. It's an opportunity to enhance our lives with it. And of course, you can do this stuff any day of the year, and anything else that resonates with you. Don't wait for the astrology, or don't be limited to, you know, just what I'm saying or just what you might read somewhere, or, you know, we can utilize anything at any point. We have that access and that power as conscious beings. It's fantastic. But today I'm going to talk about some flavors of suggestions that you might want to adopt. So Libra energy as well. So we've got this final purge, we've got this big wrapping up, we've got this shuffling into more alignment. You know, that might actually be quite a gentle way of putting it. I hope you guys have been gifted a smooth ride with this eclipse, but sometimes they're a bit bumpy because they will, shift things into more alignment, which doesn't always seem easy at the time, but do trust that they are serving us for our highest good. So I hope you've had a smooth journey in that. What we do have on the positive side, if you like, of all of this Libra energy that is our current solar eclipse tomorrow is the harmony. So Libra does love harmonious interactions. It's peacekeeping. It recognizes the beauty. It rules the planet Venus. It's linked to pleasure, aesthetics, abundance. It's all of those kind of really harmony and balancing qualities. So we have access to that in a strong dose, in a strong way. We have access to that at the beginning of Libra season. It's a lovely time. So we can utilize that in our boundaries. So what might be a really interesting theme for some is the strengthening of boundaries. So as I mentioned, for me, that was one thing that really came into play from the Pisces full moon in a heightened way. And now with Libra, it can teach us to maybe look at how we want to stop people pleasing, or saying no more often for our own health and well-being, for example. But with Libra, it will enable us, or it can gift us doing so in a way that is still keeping the peace. So we're not creating more conflict, or we're not creating dramas or big arguments, but we're still putting those boundaries down. It's still super important to be true to oneself in all of our endeavors. So we've got some access to that. We've also got Mercury here conjunct the sun and the moon, so in very close relationship, meaning really heightened synergy between this. So this is quite a thinky new moon, if that's a word. It's quite there's a lot of mental energy, perhaps mental rhetoric around this final purge of the eclipse and this new beginning. So it would also be a really good time to look at how we do our own thought patterns, limiting beliefs, that kind of thing, around, we needing to freshen up how we're talking to ourselves and others here in terms of, how we're moving forwards, and creating, maybe healthier storylines in our lives. That would be a thing. It's also conjunct the South Node. We say, so you can't see the South Node there in that cluster, but it's conjunct the South Node because we've got the North Node opposite here in Aries. So the South Node is always directly opposite on the axis. So we've got the North Node there in 6 degrees Aries, which is opposite all of this. Which means it's also activated. So of course, North Node stuff, as I mentioned, we are called to access our higher timelines, go towards our destiny, go towards the unknown of those things which call us. So we might have some kind of mental energy around that to upgrade as well. Always there's the opportunities to upgrade. We've got some other interesting astrology. We've got Mars is in Cancer, so for a few more weeks. We've got the more kind of emotional feels side of our collective kind of drive and willpower. We've got, what else have we got? We've got Venus in Scorpio. So Venus in Scorpio is interesting for relationships. Now, Libra season generally, and Moon, Sun, and Mercury in Libra is really interesting for all that harmony. As I was saying, it's a sign that's associated actually with the relationships and the other. So Libra, and I'll come on to Venus in Scorpio in a minute, but Libra is the sign that often thinks of the other before oneself. So always with Libra, it's super important to remember, yes, there's the beauty and the gifts that Libra offer in terms of like compassionate work with our partnership, with all relationships, family, partners, romance, business, all of our partnerships, relationships, all of them. We love the gifts that Libra give in terms of really, the harmonious connections and communications, but what we must remember is to put ourselves first in terms of filling our own cup, so we're not depleting ourselves. So there's been a lot of conditioning, and there's a lot of miscommunication, I think, out there, that to fill one's own cup first is somehow selfish, but actually it supports all of our relationships better. It supports the collective better when we are feeling more whole and nourished ourselves first. It's that classic thing on an aeroplane that's going down, heaven forbid, the oxygen mask shoots out of the emergency landing scenario. You put your own on first before you put someone else's on, because otherwise you might be no good to somebody else. This is the reality. And it's like that with self-care. It's like that with our general well-being day to day. We must look after ourselves to be of better service to others as well. So I am actually launching something really, really exciting that will help with this, because it's one that's close to my heart. Because I don't know if any of you are like me, but unless I schedule in my self-care, like it's in the diary and can't be moved, like it has to be ring fenced in my diary, else it won't happen. With the best intentions, with doing this work, with sharing this message as often as I do, I will let my own self-care slip, whether that's the conditioning, whether that's, it's just so easy to get busy and put others first. Whatever it's about, it's really easy to let it slip, for me anyway. So it's quite close to my heart to share the message and share support, actually, with a new service to help you schedule in your self-care to ensure that it happens. And one way I'm doing this is Evolve with Grace memberships. So I'm really excited about this. It's launching tomorrow. It's great timing with Libra season and moving forwards with that, building and cultivating that relationship with self first as the highest priority. It's on a direct debit basis, and you have a discounted rate of treatments and readings per month. There's 3 packages to choose from, basically 1, 2, or 3 treatments or reading per month. And for your commitment, if you like, to scheduling in your self-care on a regular basis and as an investment to yourself, I throw in loads of membership benefits. I'm really excited about this because I love the membership benefits, and the community feel that it's going to be as it grows. So I'm really excited. And the membership benefits are, you will get booster mini treatments as well that are free. You will get access to my astrology learning library. There's 2 videos in there already, and I will be adding a new video in each week. So it will build an astrology library for your knowledge. There's a subsequent discount with any other treatments or services or courses or training with me. And there's a free weekly card pull as well. So all of that is for members only who are subscribed to their self-care, because that was another way I thought of it, is we're subscribed to so many things. It's almost quite clinical. It's almost very, very techy, isn't it, as the way the world is, which is beautiful, but also has the challenge of we can be more on screens and looking at things rather than actually connecting with ourselves and connecting with our self-care. And so let's subscribe to our self-care. That was really what was coming through really strongly to share. So I'm really excited about launching that tomorrow. I think the first package has like a £15 saving per month, and then it goes up to a £28 saving per month for 2 treatments, and then the 3 treatment or 3 package option is saving of £42 a month. So you're actually saving money as well as getting the membership benefits. So I'm really excited for that. So back to Libra season. It's a really great time, as I said, of harmony, of more peacekeeping in the collective. Let's just watch our people pleasing. Let's just remember our boundaries. And with Scorpio, it having this impact on our relationships, additionally, we have got a little bit of increased magnetism there to shake things up a bit in our relationship. So as well as all of that, peacekeeping, what Scorpio is really fantastic at gifting us is actually it's better at boundaries, to be really basic about it. It's also going to bring some intensity. It's also going to bring perhaps some really deep, intense kind of sexual connections as well to our relationships. It's going to bring the magnetism. It's going to bring the spider senses as well. It's going to bring not so much psychic, because that's more Pisces, but there isn't anything really that gets past Scorpio energy. So it might be a really fascinating time for our relationships to have some really honest, authentic, no messing conversations, because Scorpios and Scorpio energy, and Venus in Scorpio for relationships is like the biggest BS detector. Like there won't be any flies on, you know, conversations or relationship energy at the moment with that. So really excited. I'm going to invite you to drop in the comments, if you haven't already, something you're graduating with from eclipse season, and something you're moving forwards with, taking away for your self-care for moving forwards, or anything for moving forwards beyond. And I'll really look forward to seeing you next week. I will be back. I won't leave it 2 weeks this time. And I look forward to seeing you then. Sending much love.